Hey everyone, this is Jesse, and we're playing Value Vintage today, a format that follows the vintage ban list with a $30 budget limit. Today, I'll be playing through a league, 5 unknown decks emulating your normal Magic Online league. These players came from the Value Vintage Discord and are taking decks that they would consider for 1Ks. You can find a link to the Discord in the description. They share local events while also hosting online tournaments. Today is the second video of a series I plan to continue for my subscribers. For every 100 subs, I'll be doing a viewer-submitted deck for a league. These decks are unedited from the player submitting, so any changes I want to make will be covered after the video. The challenge is built around a card of my choosing, which was Jace's Phantasm. In one of our previous online leagues, I ran a mill deck that was pretty disappointing. However, this card was an all-star. It was a pivot out of the sideboard and had me wondering if it had the ability to compete in the format. Our first winning deck comes from Clamilton from the Discord. Most of the decks submitted were built around mill or rogues, and I think that Clam's deck has the most competitive edge out of all the lists. Similar to Mono Blue Fae from Pauper, the deck aims to resolve an early threat and tempo out the rest of the game. Lur's Companion allows us to grind with the slower decks of the format, and a slew of interaction options keeps us in the game early. The sideboard features Grave Hate in the form of Lantern and Hearse, Permission with Annul and Dispel, and some combo interaction with Duress, Sphere, and Necromentia. If you're looking for Value Vintage content, please consider liking the video and following the account, and let's get into the games. Alright, now we got a match against Gorilari. Newer player, I think, to the Discord. We're going to keep this hand. It does go 1-drop into 2-drop, and also ninjutsu, depending on what they're playing. So we'll start with a Estuary untapped and then pass back. No companion for them. Contaminate landscape. We're going to flash in this Thieves Guild Enforcer into turn. Portable Hole and Swamp. So at least some kind of black-white deck. So we're just going to attack here. We're not going to play any threats or do any ninjutsu here. Is this a May? Okay, it is a May. So we can do here, we can leave up counter magic for whatever they got going on. If they don't do anything, we can just Floodplates Drowner. All the rogues should be 8 cards that it checks. Okay, Chromatic Star, interesting. Here we're going to do the Flood Pit Drowner play. Ooh, I want to jam it so bad. I think we're just going to do the same thing this turn. Just leave up 2 mana. If we draw a land there, we can ninjutsu. So it looks like an Esper deck. A Welding Jar, okay. Kind of interesting. I think we want this to resolve just because it's going to turn on our Thieves Guild. Let's get a little bit more information. Okay. We also get the Flood Pits here, and it'll tap the Emery. Doing a lot of cool things. Um, let's attack first. No blockers. We could do the ninjutsu play. I think we still just want to leave up. We have these drowns. These drowns should counter anything our opponent does. Worst comes to worst, if they don't play anything here that we care about, we can just drown the Emery. What if it's just like Esper Emery? There's some things like Welding Jar that's going on too that I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe this is like a Thopter sword. I think we'll just go to Memory Lapse this. I like Memory Lapse over the Drown just because Drown's a little bit more flexible. He's going to reset it. This must just be like an Esper Thopter sword list, now that I'm looking at it. Especially with the Tribute Mage. Nice, got a land. So we'll attack in. I don't think we're going to Moon Circuit here. I think we're just going to play the Jace's Phantasm and then leave up Drown. Yep, so he'll go to 5. Play a Jace's Phantasm as a 5/5. And then we'll just pass. Nothing in the graveyard we're really concerned about Emery bringing back at this point. We just want to try to fade removal or a sweeper. That's our biggest concern with this Drown. Could bring back his own Spell Bomb if he really wants to Spell Bomb himself. I still just don't think that's really a super winning line. It'll nerf our board, but we'd still get in for 4. Can pick up one of the 1 mana options here to Moon Circuit. So Portable Hole, this will take... I don't think either one of these matters because he can take Jace's Phantasm. We still just have lethal. So we can let this one resolve. These have a removal spell we can't answer, or... Okay, yeah, we got that one. So we're going to assume Thopter Sword. I don't think we really want the Lantern effects. Maybe we want Hearse. Hearse is fine. Because Hearse can at least turn into a threat. I didn't see a whole lot. Wish we could, everything is so cheap. Let's see. Actually, I don't really think I like these Fatal Pushes. Take out the Stern Scolding and then 2 Fatal Pushes to start. And we'll try this. Reveal a friend. This hand is good. We'll keep. Turn 1 Emery? Okay, good start. We have Swords, Sphinx of the Steel Wind. Okay, pretty good start from our opponent here. The one thing I don't like about pushing this format is we don't have a whole lot of ways to get it online very easily. We do have access to this Drown, though. So we will be able to kill this Emery. Could bring back the Sword of the Meek, but... Oh, interesting, he does. That's the play he's going for, at least. Getting the artifacts out of the yard is also going to be a little trickier. So we could go to kill the Emery right there, but I am nervous about a Thopter Foundry coming down this turn. I want to have access to the Drown on the lock mana. Dubs Ornithopters. Pretty nice little loop here. An army of Ornithopters. Here just to keep off looping that Chromatic Star, drawing an extra card each turn, we will get rid of that. I drew another Drown, so if at any point these Ornithopters can get buffed, we are in trouble. He could put a sword on one of them. Hopefully not an exciting turn. That'll allow us to get this Soaring Thought Thief into play. This is fine. We're really high up on resources compared to our opponent. I mean, 3 of these cards are really just Ornithopters. And right now they don't pose a threat, so we can leave these Drowns in hand for something that is intimidating. We're going to go for the Thought Thief. Alright, Island's good. Now we have access to double Drown. Notably here, takes up to 9 cards in graveyard, so the Soaring Thought Thief now gets buffed. So now it can swing through the Ornithopters. How much do I care about this? What is he going to search for? I think I would rather just him not have this. I'm not sure what he can search for, but it would block the Flood Pits Drowner eventually after a turn or two. Try to keep him low on resources. Yep. We'll get another threat in play. So we have to have +1/+1 counters for that to work. Alright, milling double foundry is pretty big there. Okay, and we'll just play this. It does get blocked by the Ornithopter, but our Fatal Pushes have been... Well, I guess no, it's a 2-1, that's right. It gets buffed from the Soaring Thought Thief. Our Fatal Pushes have been a little disappointing this game. Probably want to board them out for if there is a game 3. Stern Scolding would at least be able to counter some of these mages. Along with the Emery. How bad is this if... We're going to counter this. This is going to tag our Soaring Thought Thief, which I don't really want to lose. And they could go Thopter Sword here. Looks like maybe a Mage instead. Oh, Tinker. Okay. Could be bad. Probably finding Thopter Foundry. Yep. Okay. Alright, I have to remember the best way to do this. So he'll sacrifice the sword, get the 1/1. Whenever the 1/1 enters, he may return it to battlefield, then attach it to that creature. So we don't really have a good line for Fatal Pushing. I think best thing here is to just swing in. So sacrifice this, make a 1/1. Yeah. So he's going to gain 4 life a turn, get 4 blockers. Unfortunate thing is we have a lot of X1s. Dispatch. Mockingbird is interesting. So we're going to copy the Thought Thief. So he's going to do the thing. Going to gain some life. I think our best avenue is to just, however he's setting up his blocks, to try to, like, most profitably block. We can, try to tag a creature with the, Fatal Push. We're getting to the point we might just be able to mill him out. He has 23 cards left in his deck. I don't know if we care that much about this. We're going to lose our Flood Pit Drowner, but... I think it's fine. At this point, though, we don't want to draw permission. We just want to draw additional rogues to get the ETB mill. All right, so swinging in. I mean, I guess we can block. I'm not really sure. He could have removal, but... Okay, no removal. So just in case something gets tagged before combat. So he has 3 things that are on. He can make 5 Thopters. So he can throw 3 in front of 1 creature. So he won't be able to... Yep, do the thing. The other thing I don't like about this deck for MTGO is just it's so many clicks. He has a Psy in there too. That's pretty cool. All right, so we have no cards in hand. Once again, just want another rogue off the top. Yep, we want our opponent to draw cards, so this is good. Not sure what he's looking for. There is a Sphinx in the graveyard, so and he already used his Tinker. We're also at the point too where we could just like only attack with Fairy Miscreant. Yep, doing the thing. So he's amassing all of his guys now. Like I said, we can kind of be on the defense here because at this point we're not really attacking through this. So we just need to hopefully draw additional threats that lets us attack in. Not the worst. It's not a rogue, though. Right? Yeah. I'm sorry, Skull Clamp? Okay. Guys out here trying to clamp us? Oh, he's not blocking? Yo. Yo. Huge. Huge for a lot of reasons. So we're going to get to draw a card. We're going to get to play a Fairy Miscreant. So this is going to let us get 2 more mills out. It also allows us to block, too. That was pretty huge. So if we can draw a rogue off the top, are you swinging in? At this point, this shouldn't matter to have this miscreant anymore. It's late enough in the game now. He's low enough on cards in library that we should be able to keep some of these around. It's been a pretty crazy game, though. It looks like he's going to give us the GG. So, GG's to Gory. There's a pretty sweet showing of Esper Thopter Sword. Really interesting dynamic with the milling happening there, too. It's kind of unusual to see with the deck, but definitely cool to see that it's a real strategy that we can play with. All right, now we have a match against Napalm, or Pat, if you are familiar with him in the Discord. Not really sure what he's been playing lately. His hand kind of goes all in on this Moon Circuit Hacker, drawing a land. But we do have Spell Pierce, Jace's Phantasm, and Stern Scolding. Oh, jeez. We're going to greed. We're going to try it. Mainly just because we have the 2 1-mana counters, so if it's like a more mid-rangey deck or a control deck, the Spell Pierce gets better. Stern Scolding's good against the more aggressive strategies. So I kind of like it. We're really relying on drawing another land. But like here and here, this kind of sucks, but worst comes to worst, as long as this Moon Circuit Hacker is able to stay around, we'll be in a good spot. Oh, my guy's reading my cards. The other thing is, like, this Jace's Phantasm is like, not getting turned on for a while, which is fine. Please, for the love of God. Please, for the love of God, draw me a land. Nice. We're going to push this now. We have been given a gift, chat. We have been given a gift. You will never be punished for your greedy draws. Oh, Amped Raptor. Interesting. All right, immediately kills our guy. Little rude, but that's fine. Okay, this draw is really panning out. So I just want to pass. I want to see what our opponent does for numerous reasons. One, we have 2 flash threats. We also have 2 instant speed pieces of interaction. So not really sure what avenue that this turn's going to take. So we're just going to want to wait. I'm also wondering, are we playing counter spells given that we're playing Amped Raptor? Darcy. I'd like to try to Scolding that. We also got to keep in mind that, like, the more we're filling our opponent's graveyard, kind of the worse it is for us. Opponent is 1 card away from growing this Thieves Guild. So we could play the other Thieves Guild, or just push his Amped Raptor, but I do like just leaving up the 2 mana. Still get access to Spell Pierce, Fatal Push. This is fine. This can resolve. Okay, we're going to do a couple things here. So the Darcy trigger is going to resolve. And now we're going to pierce this. So this is probably going to grow the Darcy, which is okay. So line I like for this turn is we're going to Fatal Push this. If we trade with the Darcy, it's not the best, but it's also not terrible. Opponent is at 11 just because he has 2 Pain lands. Yeah, so incentivized to block there. And now what we have is a large Jace's Phantasm that's going to be hard to answer. Galvanic Discharge will not kill it. Bolt will not kill it, so he's going to probably need to put multiple resources in. And it's also just lethal in play. The next turn, depending on what we draw, depending on what they do, we could just go Soaring Thought Thief. That'll buff this. Alright, now Discharge will kill the Phantasm if he has it. Although there are 2 in the graveyard. Yeah, so we get that one. Alright, against Delver, I like the Dispels. I like these Hearses. I think the way that I'm playing the Hearses and Soul Guide Lanterns is Soul Guides I want for like really degenerate graveyard strategies, and the Hearses are more fair, just because I can make a large threat to clock back. And I don't know necessarily that I want to tag their graveyard all in one shot. I don't think I want the Duress. Fatal Pushes seem really good here. Luna's Blackguard seems a little frail here. And then maybe one of the Hackers. I think I'd like this otherwise. We're going to reveal Luris. Ooh. Pretty land heavy. It's also no black mana, which is weird. I think I'm going to mulligan this. It's still no black mana. I think we are going to keep it, though. Bottom this guy. Right, so Darcy Bobble start, pretty good. I don't think we want to expose this Jace's Phantasm yet. It was different last game because we were relying on the ninjutsu for it. But in this instance, it's pretty easy to answer with a bolt and a discharge before it's grown. We're not really on the plan of milling them heavily to start. So we kind of need this Darcy to do a lot of work for us, to be honest with you. Right, this Darcy's going to be big now. We are up to 5 cards in yard, though. And we are going to be able to keep this Darcy tapped for a turn with the Flood Pits Drowner. Okay. I don't hate that. That's a pretty good draw. We got a good sequence of turns here. So we have some defensive counter magic. Going right to combat. I think we do just want to Drowner this. We're getting shields down for a second, but if he plays a creature, we can just drown it. Yeah, Amped Raptor was what I was figuring was happening to us. We're okay with him putting stuff in the yard, though. I think we're 2 cards off. So I like just passing here. We could do the Flood Pit's Drowner play. It makes us have no counterspell magic. Also, Jace's Phantasm here is going to be kind of big enough to block the Darcy soon. So the next turn kind of looks like Fairy Miscreant and then Drown in the Lock. So maybe we like go Memory Lapse Thieves Guild Enforcer this turn. Still leaves Drown in the Lock as an option. Or we shuffle, then go Thieves Guild, and then we have the Drown in the Lock. I'm just so worried that I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Okay, so we want the Surveil to resolve first because there's a chance he bins something. Okay, he doesn't bin something. So now we can go Memory Lapse here. Actual Factual is a charm. Pretty cool. Like that. I cannot pay 2 to prevent this. So we can double block here now, too. I'll lose the Thieves Guild, but still have the Flood Pit Drowner. I think I like that play. Then there'll be 10 cards in the yard for the, there's 10 cards in the yard for the, Jace's Phantasm. So now we have the Drown in the Lock we can leave up for a turn. And then we have Fairy Miscreant and Moon Circuit Hacker. Yeah, so he's going to be digging for something to deal with this Jace's Phantasm, because he has to attack with the Darcy. Darcy's going to go into the 5/5 and die. He can have iteration because iteration is just gonna iteration can find an answer, but we're mainly just concerned about him finding, yeah, the discharge. So that's what we're gonna fight over. So if he has more counter magic, unfortunate, but another discharge. Okay, second discharge. We are going to be able to attack with the Flood Pits Drowner, as assuming the last card in hand isn't a removal spell. We will get to attack with it, pick it up with Moon Circuit Hacker, and then tap the Darcy again. So far from out of this race. Ooh, drew a Fatal Push, so... Second Darcy. Okay, we can push this one. We do want to draw. Ooh, Hearse is kind of spicy. Discard Miscreant. I think we can tag enough. He's got 5 card types. Yeah, across 2 turns, I see we can go Bobble Bobble and then Falls Reef, and then take them off Delirium. So, with that being the case, I think we're actually just going to play the Hearse. We're currently winning this race right now. Iteration is good, though. I like the modal counter spells being played with the with Amped Raptor. Just like is a charm. Like, oh, okay, if we hit it, it's fine. It's having a heck of a turn. Did we find a removal spell? Found a removal spell for our Moon Circuit. But it just needs one quick second. Yeah, this turn we'll be able to tag both baubles, and then next turn we can tag both lands. And one thing we can actually do No real point doing it mid-combat. Or I guess, yeah, I guess we would want to do it mid-combat because we get to let him attack. He'll be forced to attack as a 3/3. Then we can eat his graveyard, animate Hearse block. Pretty cool little lines. The opponent has returned. He's going to resolve a Surveil. Fortunately, the things being surveilled aren't more lands or like baubles. All right, Underground River's not the best. All right, no reason to play this land right now. I can't really fight over this. Spellpierce stock has gone down drastically. Oh, discharge, jeez. Man, so unfortunately we didn't find any like of the mill rogues. We found like the one Thieves Guild enforcer, but it would have been huge to find another miller this game. Let's see how he reacts to this. Oh, there's still 4? What's the other one? Oh, there's a mountain right here. Gosh, okay, that's fine. The mountain hid from me right here. Starting to take a lot of damage off of these amulets. Right, not a very strong draw from us. Let's see if he mills a land. He, well, I guess, no, not a land, but can still deal with it if it's a land. All right, playable spell off amulet will kill us. See if he gets a... Okay, the Surveil didn't mill anything. We do have to fade a Bolt also. Still one left in the deck. Why is this deck playing Delver? I feel like Delver would go hot in this deck. Alright, he's gonna get there. So got the playable spell off of that. I still think Hearst was fine there. Was anything bad? Nothing felt bad. The Spell Pierce felt bad because it was late game. I think we run it back. Oh, we had Luris at some point. We probably could have Lurised. Want to mulligan this? Bottom this Jesus Phantasm. You have to go back and look to see if the Luris mattered. That's fine though. New game. Let's see if we draw Spell Piercer or Stern Scolding off the top here. Okay, well, this tells us that... Oh, okay, even better. So, combat, attack. Pick this up. We will draw a card, and we got a Fatal Push. Nice. So, pretty good start. Pretty good start. Also makes it awkward because you don't want to have to kill the Fairy Miscreant. Yep, you have an Amp Raptor. Burning Wish. What is this man cooking? Forked Bolt? What? I beg your pardon. This man is a sicko. This man is a psychopath. This man just found Forked Bolt with Burning Wish. We do want to use the ability. Kind of got conflicting things going on here. I think we just get rid of the Jace's Phantasm. Mainly because I don't know how the rest of this game's going to shape out. We need Drown. Yep. Thought Thief is also good. Alright, probably killing, like, these two. Yep. Our Miscreants drew 2 cards, though. It's probably the best circumstances you could have for him. Alright, while he's tapped down, we'll attack for 1. Do the thing. Drawing a Lantern would be good. Did not. I don't really want to show Spell Pierce, but I think we need to. I think we need to keep cycling. That's fine. And it's a 3/3. I'm going to Spell Pierce this. He could go land removal spell. But if he does, then that means that we can just drown his guy. He's stuck on 2 lands, too. And we want to kill this so we can get our cycle from Moon Circuit. We want to get our damage, and our opponent is going to go down to 9. Shivan Reef has been dealing some damage. Alright, got there. 6 cards in his graveyard. I actually think it's hers. Choosing Miscreant here because there is a chance that he can clean up this board soon. And the Phantasm has the ability to still come down as a 5/5. Game's not quite over. He's still got 7 cards in hand. If we can deploy a Thought Thief, I think we'll be okay. Alright, iteration. Probably going to find a land off this. Opponent is down to 8. Probably cleaning up this Moon Circuit, yep. Alright, so let's think about this turn. We can go Thought Thief. He'll mill 2, and then we can play the Jace's Phantasm as a 5/5. Painful lands this game for both of us, man. So once again, shield's down for a turn, but we do have Drown in the lock to clear up a blocker if he goes to block. All right, we got there. Good games to pat. Real sweet iteration of blue-red tempo. All right, we have a match against Octopus with a Hammer. We're going to keep this hand. Castle of Vantress tapped, okay. So this leaves up Stern Scolding and Thieves Guild Enforcer to start. Blue-red something. Oko, eh? This is probably balance. We don't have an answer for the Oko, unfortunately. What is this guy cooking over here? Timely drowned in the lock that would not have mattered at the time. The Stern Scolding doesn't look like it's going to be very good this matchup. Is what I would say. Maybe we see the food become a guy. What does this thing do so much? The thing does, like, entirely too much. Alright, so we see the Bone Crusher. I think we just counter this. So now we can main phase this, tap your guy. Oh, that was bad order. Forgot this thing's a rogue. Little bit of a missequence there. Well, Oka's kind of annoying, huh? This does not bode well. Oh, interesting. Okay, we can hit Oko for 6, which doesn't kill him. I think it's what we have to do, though, because... like, if he draws any adventure spell, he's just going to get to copy it. So, like, I don't want him to be able to just, like, chain draws anyway. We at least have 2 flyers next turn. One more card in the yard also, yep. Puts Gigantha in hand. No, he's gonna have 10 cards in the yard anyway. I think we're fine just trading with this 3/3. Okay, so now we have Jace's Phantasm. Not a good sign. Let's see what he finds. Seasons past. I like just keeping one land in the sideboard. That's some smart. What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing to me over here? Just trying to play some honest Magic. My opponent is finding the coolest cards. Yeah, I think we'll concede to that. I don't think we're gonna be able to win this one from this point. All right, so post board. Good God, I have no idea. All right. Dispel doesn't seem good. Annul doesn't seem good because it only counters the Clover. Necromantia seems bad. Duress seems good versus Oko, and Clover, and that's it. Good. I just, this seems like a shuffle it back up and try again. I'm gonna try that. Yes, reveal a friend. This is fine. All right, I see turn 1 Underground River, push an Innkeeper, or play a Thief Guild Enforcer. Looks like we got a mulligan over there. Right, mulligan to 6. All right, we will take them down. We're gonna take some damage from our lands. Almost misplayed that. We're gonna do the same thing. We just want to leave up mana for Fatal Push. Don't have an answer for that. Which sucks, but that's okay. Build 2 lands. I got a Spell Pierce. All right, so we have access to Spell Pierce and Fatal Push. He can't Oak. Ugh. God, this just kind of sucks. So we're gonna pierce the copy. I'm piercing, or not the copy, the original. If I don't pierce this, Spell Pierce is probably dead for the rest of the game. I hope that makes sense. Just because he ends up finding like additional lands. All right, we're gonna show a moment of weakness here. Pick up Blurus. We just don't have any other real plays. I don't want to play the Phantasm just because he's got 6 cards, so it's a little too small. And he does have removal options for it. Oh my god, bounce 2 things. Jeez. We are going to at least get to Thieves Guild here. Okay, draw a card. I'm kind of drowning the lock, so. Alright, so we can leave up Drown in the Lock for a turn. Next turn go Jace's Phantasm. Brother, stop. I do want to kill this guy now, though, just because in case he draws another one. Oh, he was playing it. Oh, that was less good. That was less good. So we could Mockingbird and make a copy of the Jace's Phantasm. Well, how bad is it if he's just copying everything? I mean, I guess it just puts lethal in play. We should probably just do it. We do have Luris as backup. Oh, heavens. Okay. Would have been pretty good for us to have, but I don't think... Oh, he can stomp. All right, so he's going to get multiple copies of this. Here's a question to you. I think you... Oh, is he killing off just the smaller ones? Okay, that's fine. Goes to 2. Let's play another Phantasm and pass. So he's got 7 mana. All right, nice. We got that one. Don't know how. I have no idea. Man is just playing banned Teamer Adventures. Like, have we seen, other than Soul Ring, has there been anything that's played that's just like not that? This hand's busted. All right, pal. Take a deep breath. I have a feeling that we are going to be getting Oko'd. Maybe like Minson Boo. Are you gonna Minson Boo me, buddy? I love this action. Yep. All right, we do not have Drown for the Bone Crusher, which kind of sucks. Or that. This turn is probably just Thought Thief. Yep. All right. What are we... So, I think we are going Miscreant. Bro, you gotta chill. You gotta chill out. So we're gonna have to try to drown that at some point. Oh my god, yes, we can do it. Yes. Yes, block. Fatal push. So we take 2, get to kill his guy. So attack, trigger. Opponents are doing a lot of things today. Do you want to pick this up? Draw a card. I don't want to play the Phantasm because there's only 7. So now we can drown and lock the Beanstalk Giant. I just don't know if we want to yet. We're just gonna wait. I know this looks crazy, but I think we lose to things like Okos. And this at least doesn't have trample or anything. Oh, this is an adventure. That's right. Buddy is tapping a lot of mana. Who plays a 1/4? I suppose. I guess he's doing Granted. Elixir of Immortality. I mean, that's not great, but... Okay, yeah, we... Oh. No, we can't let him have Oko. Yep. Oh, all right. So we at least have we have things and stuff. We have things and stuff now, which is good. Oh, I did this order wrong. Shoot. Should have been the other way. Doesn't really matter because it still gets up to 10 cards, but it's a 6/6. So he has Fae. It's probably just best to block here. Force him to use Elixir. Yep. Next turn, I can pick up Luris. Oh, he has another Oko. Oh my god. Yep. All right, so Yeah, we gotta try to swing into the Oko. So pick up Luris. I can go to 2. If he animates the Soul Ring, and then if he has Stomp, I die. Okay, just making a food token. Actually, wait. I want to play this Underground River in case I need to do something different with my mana. We did have Stomp. There's one reason I don't like Memory Lapse in this format is that he's just going to get to draw that. I mean, Loose Focus doesn't help me there either, but it just kind of sucks. Alright, so he's going to get the Stomp the Luris here. Yep. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't just kill me last turn. You can attack with the 1. If he attacks with the 1/4 there too, then I also have to have a block for it next turn. At this point, though, it's basically just like kind of going through the motions because like he also has Bone Crusher Giant. We don't really have a good comeback mechanic like Treasure Cruise or anything for the deck. Yeah, he's gonna get there. All right, GG's to Octopus. Definitely put the hammer on us there. All right, now we have a match against Chubbs. Chubbs is, I think, a newer player in our Discord, so I'm not 100% sure what they'll be playing today. They have a Kahira, so odds are control is probably what we'll see. We'll keep this hand. We have the Miscreant into a 2-drop. I thought maybe they weren't gonna play land. The only thing that's a little unfortunate is that we only have one blue source right now. And it's the Underground River. So we're gonna take a little bit of damage. Assumingly, if this is control, we have a little bit of time. This might be like standstill. All right, my play here isn't going to be to do the Moon Circuit hacker play. We're going to just leave up Counterspell mana just because I do believe it's control. If he doesn't present anything, we can flash in the Soaring Thought Thief. The one benefit for tempo decks versus control is that you can do things on their end step. Make things really awkward. Since I'm thinking it's control, I actually think I want to play this guy. Just get another threat and play. Thought Thief is a little bit more valuable. We can at least have Flood Pits as a, yeah, so that's going to get swords. And I got blue mana available. So now we can do the play of the Fairy Miscreant Ninjutsu. So we can bring this in, pick this up. And this is going to let us still get counterspell mana. We'll get to draw a card. And then we still have that counterspell mana. Or mana to flash in the Soaring Thought Thief. Okay, so it is Wilderness Wreck. Okay, so we're going to memory lapse this. It's kind of awkward, though, because we don't have a way to counter it on the way back down. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of memory lapse for this format. We'll get in, we'll see if we can loot. Not sure what we can really get here that's going to help us out. That does play, because now what we can do is we have to do this main phase. Because now we'll be able to mill the Wilderness Wreck. We'll just play the Miscreant here too. Shark Typhoon and Counterspell, so both pretty good. So we just want to maximize the cards that are in the graveyard to turn on this Drown. Next turn, I do see us potentially picking up Lurrus, especially if we have 2 lands. 2 lands in hand, that is, excuse me. I think we can go for the Thought Thief here. We are tapping down, but there's not double white for a sweeper currently. If this gets countered... Right, so Swordsing our Moon Circuit, so not the best, but at the same point, it's kind of turned on the antheming of our creatures. So, right, so we'll start here. Swing out. Right, so I'm not going to pick up Lurrus, but what I am going to do is I'm going to play this Jace's Phantasm. And then I'm going to leave up 2 mana for Drown in the Lock, as well as 2 mana for paying for a Lose Focus. So we've already gone through 3 Swords to Plowshares. Definitely going to need to have multiple answers to what we got going on. Planar Genesis is fine. Obviously just digging for probably a Swords or something. Needs to be able to answer 2 threats. One of them has to be the Jace's Phantasm. Probably a Depopulate. Sunset Revelry, so... we'll just try to counter this. Counter target spell. Alright, so we got that one. Alright, so versus Bant Rec. I like Dispel. Annul does answer. Late game Shark Typhoon and Wilderness Wreck, but I don't think we want it here. I think we like these Duresses, though. And I think that's all I like. I don't like these Fatal Pushes. Let's get those out of here. I think it's just Fatal Pushes and then Stern Scolding. I actually think that that looks almost perfect. I think we got a fortunate matchup for us here. Tempo decks can typically get under the control decks, and then they're more impactful plays you normally have counter spells for. Um, yeah, I think this hand's good. It's a little awkward just because of the estuary. Blue Black's mana is just so goofy. What is this? I've never seen the non-blue clue lands. It was a bit jarring to see. Okay, we're online now. So let's just start with. It's gonna look goofy, but we're just gonna play Phantasm. So we could have played Miscreant turn one, but what I kind of want to do is try to jam the Blackguard turn two, because this will allow us to grow our rogues, and then they'll become discard spells. Green white mana turn two is kind of awkward. Might have a swords. Just start here. Just attack for one. Something that I think is a little unusual, or not unusual, but a little different about this matchup compared to other control decks is that there's the 2-mana fog. If there's the swords, there's the 2-mana fog that shuffles graveyards back in. And you could do that mid-combat to not only obviously fog damage, but to also like shrink all the guys. Okay, stuck on 2 lands. All right, so here obviously attacking for 1. We get a Miscreant in play. Jeez. So we could flash in Thought Thief, but I think what I want to do is if there's green-white here, I think I want to untap first because that lets us have Drown in the Lock mana. Ooh, that's enticing though. Let's do this. So we're actually going to do this differently. We're going to play the Blackguard. We have mana open for Drowned in the Lock. And then we can Soaring Thought Thief also. All right, he's found blue mana. All right. Shields are down. We're going to go in. Could have a swords. All right, we're a little while away from this Thought Thief being online in terms of enough cards in the yard, but we're going to be able to tag cards out of his hand. What? Man, we were playing some cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff today. It's also important now because now this Drown can tag CMC4. Man, still stuck on lands. Could be a Shark Typhoon coming down, but with pretty good hits. All right, so there's 7 cards in the yard. I think we just let these blocks happen. Yeah. All right, yeah, so state-based sees the damage, so it is gonna still make him discard. I'm doing this in this way because if I play the Estuary, then he knows every card. He knows that we have a land in hand, but now he just knows that we have Lurrus and 2 unknowns. So, like, doing it a little bit differently. Like that forest. These are like the type of lands I wish would be full art. Like the old Zendikar full arts. Now we're getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pizza. All right, so we will be able to grow the Jace's Phantasm mid-combat here. So we'll need an answer, or else this will be lethal. We do have the Drown as a counterspell. All right, we'll go for the counterspell. All right, it has loose focus. We will pay. And then we'll win that one. All right, so GG's to Chubbs. Got kind of tough with that starting hand in game 2 there, but appreciate coming out and showcasing Bant Rec. All right, we have a match against Zordal. Once again, I think this is a newer player to the Discord, so I'm not sure what they'll be on. I'm going to keep this hand. It's not very interactive, but we do have the... I mean, honestly, we have the double Miscreant line, plus we have Moon Circuit Hacker, so... We're going to start with a Miscreant. Blooming Marsh into Ignoble. Ooh, pretty good there. So we'll see if anything changes. How I imagine this next turn is going to look is play Blackguard into Miscreant. Pretty good start, though. A little concerning with our opponent having Ignoble into Black-Green. Definitely a mid-range shell, potentially like a Black-Green initiative. All right, Inquisition, let's see what they take. Also, no companion. So they take the Fairy Miscreant. Probably not a bad decision just because we don't have another 1-drop. It's just like a variation of Hogaak Roots. What's the other text on this? Okay. So it's like a, what the heck's that card? Slitherhead. Is this a Hogaak? Are you? Oh my god. So bad for a lot of reasons. One, exiling the yard is brutal. All right, so it kind of sucks because we can't attack here. We could flood pits now to put this here, tap this here, and then get damage in. But I think what we want to do is I think we just want to attack for 1 in the air. And then we can tuck the Hogaak next turn. So he doesn't know we have the Spell Pierce, so he could tag 1 of these. And I think that's fine because if I Spell Pierce now, he can still just pay for it. Then we're down to Spell Pierce. He names one of these cards because he knows about him anyway. But in this instance, if he goes to flash it back now, well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. I understand how cards work. We're not going to block. Yeah, I mean... I guess none of it's very good. So blue's the Thought Thief here. We'll just have the Spell Pierce. I'd imagine we board Spell Pierce's Outpost board. Right, so we're definitely doing this. I almost want to draw a land now so we could pick up Lurrus and have Memory Lapse mana up. I mean, not the best. Still, though, 2/1/1 flyers are better than nothing. There's a lot of cards in hand, though. So, I think we just want to Memory Lapse this. It really sucks that the Spell Pierce can't tag anything. There's also, like I said, this is why I don't like Memory Lapse, because he still gets access to it next turn. It doesn't put it in the yard for these guys to count. What is the harm of attacking with the 2/1? He trades. We're going to try this. Because if he trades, he still can't, like, do anything next turn. Other than, like, play the roots. Next turn I have 3 mana up. I don't think there's a world where we need to hold that card. Right. So it might look crazy, but we're going to Spell Pierce this just so he can't do the Rebel Belt play. And also the Spell Pierce is like losing a lot of value. Yep. We also want him tap down so we could like set Lurrus up now. Alright, so what do we want here? I think it's just Thought Thief. Like, we don't want to fuel his graveyard, but we also need to, like, try to end this game. Actually. Oh, Tyvar's cool. So we're going to attack for 2. Assumingly, I mean, there is a chance that our Lurrus or our other Fairy Miscreant can die this turn, but assumingly we can get the other Miscreant back and be able to, like, draw another card. Because now we're just trying to end the game in the air. Ugh. Yep. This is a little brutal. Yeah, Lurrus is gone. Drawing lands is not helping. We're drawing a lot of lands. I've actually seen more the same amount of lands as spells. Right, we know what we are doing. We're taking out Grist. These are going face. The other tough thing is that some of the things that we're milling can remove themselves from the graveyard, like these Mavericks. Okay, CMC 2 or less. I couldn't remember if it was Unearth or if it was... Oh, there's a Hogaak too. This might just be a an impossible game one. Or maybe not impossible. How big is this thing? Is 6'7"? Oh my god, it's the meme. I didn't even try. Yeah, we'll just concede this one. We'll save time. All right, so post board. We want these. We want the Soul Guide Lanterns. I don't think I want Necromenches. We'll bring them in, and then let's see if we want to keep them after we go to make cuts. So I still like Pushes and Stern Scolding. I don't like these Spell Pierces. I talked about that. It's really awkward because we want to do so much milling, and it's also so bad for us. I hate these memory lapses. I mean, okay, it's probably not Necromentia then, and maybe it's 2 Moon Circuit Hackers, just because the ground gets real clogged up. Maybe it is like... Maybe it's like 1 Necromentia. We'll just try this. Like I said, if we could survive the early game, I'm not sure which card is more impactful, Roots or Hogaak, in this matchup. Well, we of course drew the one of. We'll keep. All right, start with a Miscreant. We have assembled a clock. Ignoble is fine. Maverick is also fine. So we can Necromention now. I think we can just wait. Because we do have 2 counter spells. If there's a Cabal Therapy, that's pretty bad for us. But that would at least tell us, like, okay, we gotta go. We're gonna need to do something here, though, just because this Rebel Belt will be able to outrace, even if it's just playing the Mockingbird as a copy of Miscreant. So it's gonna be tough. Drawing like a Lantern or a... Whoa, fella. Whoa. Don't like that. Okay. Let's start. We're just gonna copy Miscreant. It's not like a super winning play, but what we got. Opponent has a lot of lands. Okay. This is really bad for a lot of reasons, so we could memory lapse this. If we memory lapse this, Roots comes down, but they can't do anything with Roots yet. Man, I just don't know what to do here. Well, he could tick down, and then... Okay, we just need to hope that the hit off this isn't impactful. Because we can attack it down in the air. Alright, so we can get a Rebel Belt back. Hey, what do we do now, though? Because he can... Shoot. So if we memory lapse this... He has enough to Hogaak still? Jeez. We're going to play the out of... Flood Pit Drowner. This Cosmogoyf is going to be a 4/5 after we Necromentia. Actually, no, it's going to be huge now. It's going to be... Yeah, it's a 5/6 now. Six, 7. There, look, it's the joke again. This is really bad for us. I don't think we can come back from here. Jace's Phantasm's pretty bad here, just given the, Let me see your deck. Alright, let's check what opponent is cooking. Cosmogoyf's dope. Horsey Revenant, that card's cool. Okay. Alright, looks like a lot of cards that are good against us. Oh, we're so cooked. Play this guy. I don't actually remember seeing the hand. Yep, we have combat. This thing have trample? No, okay. Alright, 10 is not 12, and it has trample, so we will not be blocking. We will go to 2. Yup, yerp. Yerp, yerp. We will go to 1. Man, we kind of flooded out in both these games against Hogaak. Yeah, we'll just concede. There's not really a point in doing anything past this, but GG's to Zordle. Pretty good showing there with Hogaak Roots. The deck we don't really get to see very often. To end the video, our final record was 3-2, beating Blue-Red Tempo, Esper Thopter Sword, and Bant Rec, while losing to Adventures and Hogaak Roots. The deck felt like it had serious legs. The Flash Rogues are serious threats, and the incidental cards going into your graveyard over the course of the game really helped our strategy, especially powering up Drown in the Lock. For the main deck, I would only make 2 changes. To start, I would replace Memory Lapse, although Lose Focus wouldn't have fixed the situation in every occurrence. There were a couple times it would have been a hard counter, and Lapse allowing our opponent to cast the spell next turn came up multiple times. Second, I always like 1 Creeping Tar Pit in my blue-black mana bases, so I would slot 1 here as well. For the sideboard, overall, I think is in a solid spot. I'm not a huge fan of Annul. I could see this being a Miser's Echoing Truth, but I think sleeving up the Annul is also fine. If you liked the video or have something you wanted to share about the league, the recording, or the gameplay, please let me know below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.